Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. Man, what a Monday. Y'all asked for this. Y'all asked for it, and all rap hell broke loose today. The rappers are absolutely rapping. Like, everybody getting in the booth, they dropping joints. To quickly recap, I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I can. Last week, Joey Bada sent more shots at Daylyt and Ray Vaughn in his Red Bull Spiral Cypher, which also co-starred Ab Soul and Big Sean. They both did their thing. They had incredible verses, but Joey was the star of the show. The disses, the shots, the star of the show, all right? So last week, Joey Badass dropped that. The very next day, Ray Vaughn responded with Ho Era. The next day after that, Joey fired back with the finals, okay? Reason jumped in it and dissed Joey and the whole New York City on Dead Apple because Joey mentioned Reason's name. So Reason came the next day, jumped in it, dissed Joey and all of NYC. I talked about this. That one made me feel away. Came at the whole city on Dead Apple. AZ Shike dropped a video on Friday called Game Time, and he threw subtle shots at Joey in the video. Dime a Dozen from Brooklyn dropped a High You remix. Remember Daylyt's High You, which was a Joey Badass diss? That was the first diss towards Joey after The Ruler's Back. Dime a Dozen on Friday dropped the High You remix. It was the last song on his new album called Solely Yours. And he was actually, Dime is from Brooklyn. He was actually going at Joey, but he's been going at Joey for years. If you're from New York, if you're from Brooklyn, if you're tapped in, you know the Dime a Dozen Joey Badass story. Maybe I'll get to it in a little bit. On Saturday, CJ Fly dropped his On the Radar freestyle. Fast forward to Monday. Sunday, Punch dropped something, and you might have to sift through those bars, and you might find a little something. Maybe we'll get to that in another video. But Punch from TDE, A Room for the Mirrors, dropped something on Sunday. Might have to get back to that. Fast forward to Monday, AZ Shite dropped What Would You Do? This is Joey again. Daylyt dropped Word to My Mother, a track he produced himself, and he gets super disrespectful, and this video was centered on Daylyt. I want to focus on Daylyt on this one, right? Then today also CJ Fly dropped Stingray, defended New York and defended his position, and Joey, and CJ is part of Pro Era. J1, this is Jadakiss's son, the kin, the next in line, the heir to the Jadakiss throne, defended NY's honor and dropped his Bobby M freestyle today. Curtis King dropped Cut the Cap, free trial, and went at CJ Fly because of CJ Fly's On the Radar freestyle where he had a line about Curtis King. Juice from A Room Full of Mirrors dropped a song called Venus Flytrap today, dissing CJ Fly. Kai Cash from Brooklyn dropped Nixon 6. That was really ill. You might not have heard of Kai Cash. I'm going to put these links all in the description. You might not have heard of Kai Cash, but that is worth checking out. Kai Cash, really ill. When at Reason, again, defending New York City. That was dope. That was dope, and you may not know it. So if you're hearing this for the first time, you're welcome. Might be a couple of more that I'm missing. I ain't even going to lie. But that's already a lot. That's like the bulk of it. You get the picture of what's going on. Who's breaking all that down? Not me. Not tonight. Not in one video. We'll be here for hours. So maybe I'll circle back on some of the ones that feel important ones, because you also got to digest this stuff. I may circle back on a couple of these. But like I said, today I want to focus on Daylyt. I wanted to address this Daylyt diss, Word to My Mother. It's self-produced. He flipped a couple of different familiar NY samples, like the Hovey Baby sample and things like that. His vocal tone on this is real different. It's not the most melodic. When you think of Backpack and High You and Your and all the records that Daylyt dropped, this one is real different. It's super aggressive. His tone on this one is more like his battle rap cadence. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like more like just evil. He also, if you notice, Word to My Mother, How You was another one. Yo, what up, son? How you? Your was another one. Backpack. He's using like all these different NY terms or these stereotypical NY terms for his song titles. But he starts it off with, I'll sit back and watch you disrespect what we built. You popped and skirted, now expect to be killed. Think you going nuts, so cool. Vasectomy dealt. He just messes with the word, with the pronunciations of the words, but think you're going nuts. It's cool. Vasectomy dealt. Crazy way to open the verse. There's also another couplet. I'm not gonna go through the whole round because I'm getting to a very specific thing, right? But Daylyt also said in here, unique scar. Joey Badass plays unique on Power, Raising Kanan. Unique scar. Think you could still kill a king. The people is lying. Simba tell him. NY Cinderella, it's time to crash and spazzing. Cinderella, you hung out with the glass slipper. So this is like a whole Disney metaphor, right? Like he starts with unique scar. So that's Joey Badass's character. He has a scar on his face if you watch Power, Raising Kanan. But unique scar is the Lion King, right? The brother to Mufasa. Unique scar, think you could kill a king. Scar's the one that killed Mufasa. The people is lying. Simba tell him. So this is all a Lion King metaphor. Disney. NY Cinderella, we still keeping it Disney. It's time to crash. Spaz. Cinderella, you hung out with the glass slipper. Now, I had to do some digging because I'm like, I get the Disney metaphor. The glass slipper part is that's some Cali slang. That's Cali slang. That's like somebody who has slipped something in a woman's drink. The glass slipper, you slip something in a drink, drugger. He's talking about Diddy. So, kind of crazy. And Joey Diddy was on 2000 on Joey's album 2000. Like there was a relationship there, and Diddy's in the news, of course, for what it is. I'm gonna fast forward a bit. I'm patient, mind disgusting. Time to dust them. We ain't friends, so the bullets come dime a dozen. Now, again, that's an ill line. But again, some Brooklyn shit in case you don't know. Like, not everybody will get it. Dime a Dozen is a rapper from BK. I mentioned him earlier. It's from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. He's been at odds with Joey for years. They started as friends, collaborators. At least I can't speak to the strength of their friendship or bond. But they started as friendships. They were cool. And they've collaborated. And they've been at odds for years. Dime also grew up with the late Capital STEEZ, rest in peace, and we'll get into it. This is important though. I'm patient, mind disgusting, time to dust them. We ain't friends, so the bullets come dime a dozen. Joey and Dime aren't friends anymore. So clever flip. So we're gonna get into it. So and Dime grew up with the late Capital STEEZ. STEEZ, for those who don't know, and many of y'all know, I'm not talking to y'all like y'all slow. But shout out to the Discord and the monthly music membership. We've been in our Discord all day talking about this, and a few people in the Discord didn't know STEEZ or didn't know necessarily the history, and that's all right. That's what we're here for. But STEEZ was Joey's man, his partner in rhyme, LMC, partner in Pro Era. They came on in the game together. When I first heard Joey, I heard STEEZ. It was a song called Survival Tactics. Incredible song. If you go back and watch, I have a video on it when Joey was on Rap Fix with Our Future, and I did that interview. That's how far this goes back. You can go watch that video. You know what I'm saying? Gives you a little bit more about who and where they were when they first came in the game. Early days of Pro Era. And then STEEZ took his own life, unfortunately. It was sad in 2012, I believe. It was Christmas Eve. Let me just, I forget the year. I think it was 2012. STEEZ took his own life. Yeah, December 24th, 2012. Rest in peace to STEEZ. It was sad. People were hurt. And why hip hop was hurt. I had interviewed STEEZ before for MTV. I knew him. We weren't like best friends, but at all. But I knew him. I had interviewed him. I interacted with him. I actually shot with him in the whole Pro Era just a couple of weeks before STEEZ passed. And it was a group shot. We did a mixtape daily for the Peep the Propocalypse. And I had told STEEZ that when he was ready to drop a solo, I needed him to come back to MTV to see me for this solo one-on-one interview. And that was the last time I spoke to him. About 3 weeks later, he was gone. Great dude for real. Sweet dude. Talented dude. Incredible MC. Definitely check him out. Check his music out. You know what I mean? If you haven't. So let's fast forward to the end, because what does this all have to do with Daylyt? At the end, Light says, from finals to final destination, I'm deaf. From finals to final destination, I'm deaf who follows. Finals was the Joey Bada song, right? From finals to final destination, I'm deaf who follows. How did you get all of his clout? What did you kids do? Split with Donovan, kept the chain. Pray for you kids crew. Donovan is, again, Dama Dozen, that's his real name. CJ Fly, who is in Pro Era. Let's just look CJ up. I just want to double check this. His real name is Chain. CJ Fly's real name, birth given name is Chain. So split with Donovan, kept the chain. Split with Dama Dozen, stayed cool with CJ Fly. Pray for you kids crew. Sacrifice you big goof. If the world knew what, and then you just hear beep, it's censored. If the world knew what knew about you, they jump off a bridge too. And these are the closing bars of Light's thing. The assumption is that Light bleeped out STEEZ's name. And now this would be the second time that Light mentioned STEEZ in this battle. On High U, he said, credit line to the max, we overstacking though. STEEZ on my arm, we came for capital. STEEZ on my arm, meaning Daylyt has a tattoo of STEEZ on his arm. And I'm telling this story just because I want to get to the sensitivities of this. Daylyt has a Capital STEEZ tattoo on his arm. Clearly has love and admiration for STEEZ and his legacy and who he was. Last week on IG, Daylyt posted a picture of STEEZ on his gram and his grid, and then he erased it. And people wanted to know what that meant. Now here's where it gets tricky. Daylyt is my man. I got a lot of love for Daylyt in real life. Joey is my man. And I knew STEEZ a little bit and got love for STEEZ and tremendous respect for his legacy. Now, if I'm just being fair, and y'all have seen me do videos before, I always say there is no line in rap. Like there's no rules. Like we like to pretend that there are rules, but they aren't. There's no limit to how far the disrespect can go. But when you're battling with somebody, you have to be careful for how far you take it, because once you open that door, you don't know what the response will be. You know what I'm saying? So women, wives, kids, dead homies, just in general, when we talk about culture, and I'm not talking about battle rap, because battle rap in the live arena, sometimes they say the most disrespectful things, and it's more accepted in that arena. But in records, women, wives, kids, dead homies, in general, when it's competitive, and this was set up as a competitive back and forth, we just want to see who's best. Just in general, those are some lines that once you go there, there's no taking back. I just want to say that. Once you go there, there's no taking back. Again, you can't stop nobody from saying nothing, but you just gotta be prepared when you give that energy, what's going to come back the other way. You don't know what's going to come back. This battle was supposed to be and set up to be a friendly competition. This is supposed to be, we just battling for sport. Right? This is what we're being told. This is what it's being set up as. And if it goes there, that changes things. It changes the tone. It changes the stakes of this battle. And me personally, I'm just saying I would like to see STEEZ rest in peace and rest peacefully, and for it not to go there. But now back to the bars with all of that said. And here's the caveat. If the world knew what B knew about you, they jump off a bridge too. It should make me feel something when he ended the song like that. But the name is bleeped. We don't know what it is. I'm not 100% convinced that Daylyt is talking about STEEZ here. I'm not sold. I can't say that for fact. I truly don't know. But for one, Daylyt is wildly unpredictable. If you ever watch him in the battle arena, he will do the wildest shit. He's unpredictable. You kind of think he's going left, and he'll pop out on the right. Things that it seems on the surface would like quite often ends up not being what it is, and it ends up being something else. Also, Daylyt is pretty accurate with the facts. He's a guy who chooses his words very carefully. Pretty accurate with the facts, with his words. And I don't want to get into the gruesome details of it, but STEEZ didn't jump off a bridge. And the incident where we lost STEEZ happened in the middle of Manhattan on 23rd Street. It wasn't a bridge. Now, someone who did jump off a bridge, and thank God he's still with us. It was a failed attempt. Someone who did jump off a bridge and he's still with us was Ab-Soul in 2022. And I'm glad he's still here. Solo, we love you, bro. Soul rapped about it on 9 Mile from his Soulberg album, right? He said, I did jump off a bridge. You remember 9 Mile, he was doing the Eminem, the 8 Mile scheme where he starts talking about himself and taking the power away. He said, I did jump off a bridge on Del Amo Boulevard. He's from Carson, Del Amo. I did jump off a bridge from Del Amo Boulevard. I'm blessed, but question why God would have mercy on a junkie. He goes off of that thing, and he's talked about it with Charlemagne. He's talked about it with Genius. If you look, we have a verified episode where he talks about it. So I don't know what's going on here. I'm not even pretending to know, but the more I listen to it, my first reaction was like, dude, you went there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my first reaction. And then you see the internet, I'm in the Discord, people are like, yo, he went there. And the more I listened, I said, well, I'm not so sure because it doesn't add up. And I truly don't know. I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what the angle is. I don't know how the other shoe drops. But I'm watching this, man, and I hope it stays competitive. I hope it stays like in the sport of competition. Suicide, depression, that dark place is nothing to play with. So we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. But that was like when I heard everything today, and I'm listening to all these bars, right? And what am I inspired to talk about? That was the thing that stuck out. That was the thing that made me feel something like, oh. And so I wanted to come here and talk about it. But let me know what you think. I welcome all opinions. And as always, I just ask y'all to be respectful. Especially on this one, be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to tolerate the disrespect. We grown, and we talking about grown issues. So let me know what you think in the comments. And the next time, let me know if you want more. Let me know what else you might want me to break down, man. I might spin the block tomorrow and break some of these down. But check out that Kai Cash too. Hell of a joint. All right. Knicks and 6 is called. All right. Peace.